Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm still in this book. I'm about to go with some uncharted orders, right thinkers. Come on and join me. We about to get into some electromagnetism. I have no idea what that is, but let's learn as we go. Okay, let's rock. Radism, 24 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life to admit to a spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. I'm about to swim in some waters that I'm not familiar with, right thinkers, and I don't have a problem with it. Why? I know how to swim. I can do the boogie, but I can explain things that I can comprehend and learn on the fly. This is out of my philosophical concepts, but I can understand it. So let me take you through it, see if I can break it down to get a better understanding from my perspective. I see it, I heard about it, I understand it. Never thought I'd be trying to teach it. Well, let's give it a shot. You know what I mean? All right. And this is the pictures. I have, this is all new to me. They call it the torus field. This is the black hole and the white hole. This is the atoms breaking down the molecules. This is all physics, okay? This is pi. I forgot what that was, okay? I have my own fraternity that I call Phi Beta Funk. Another story, but I forget what pi was. All right, phi, excuse me. But let's go. Electromagnetism. Let's see what that's about. I'm a spirit man. I know nothing about this stuff, so let's go. And I got a few pages of this. I said, oh Lord, I got a few pages, so this is gonna be a while. Hope you enjoy it, cause let's go. I'm learning as I go right now. The torus field. I just learned about what that is. The torus field is one unit of light. We know that light is God. I know that from, so I'm getting the concept real easy early. And science states that 99.999% of atoms, ATOM, atoms are empty space. In other words, they don't know. Okay? When you say empty or space, that means they don't know. So, okay, I'm good with that. Our ancients had a better perspective, but I'll let them do their thing. This is, like I said, this is their stuff. I'm just going with it. All right. But which is true? Okay. However, the model they provide us is false. I have no idea what that means. Okay. What that means? This means what we see in the physical world is not actually physical or indeed real. What the what? This is a simulation. I know that aspect, so I'm seeing where they're coming from. Watch this. I'm gonna grab this hopefully. Now the torch field. It simulates. Again, we're in a simulation. We're spiritual beings having a human simulation, and this is what's explaining it perfectly from their perspective. I got a different concept, but it's the same thing. I'm excited. Okay, here you go. But the physical matter, the torch field, is what simulates the physical matter. We went from spirit to physical matter. That's the torch field doing its thing. Okay. In other words, I ain't that technically advised on what that stuff. So I'm just like they do empty space. I'm gonna it do its thing. Watch this. The torch field simulates physical matter. In other words, it's holographic. If you know anything about hologram, any part of that hologram takes a part, it keeps the whole picture. So you don't lose God in the concept. That's like my spiritual concept is about that with the holographic concept. Holographic, everything we call physical is just slowed down light wave in motion so that we can, then denser the slower it moves, the more dense it is. So I can understand it again. From my perspective of what I other know from else, I can get that concept. All right. And what they're showing you here is always red and blue. Okay. And for the third, you're gonna see a black in the atom. Negative, positive, and neutral. But this is the torus field right here. Now you heard about the black hole. I know black holes where nothing escapes, not even light. But I had no idea what a white hole is. Okay? And the white hole, nothing can come in. This is all philosophy that I don't know. I'm learning on the fly, so I'm just bringing it to you best I could. Hope you understand it too. But over here it says the black hole, event horizon, nothing comes out. Okay? What's in there is in there. It's a singulatory concept. That's this here, the hourglass concept. Okay? Right here. This is the black hole on top. Nothing escapes, not even light. Then you got the white hole down here where it says nothing gets in. Moving on, just saying, you gotta have opposites. You need two opposites. That's definitely opposite. You got black, you gotta have white. Simple as that. Moving on. All right, but it just showed you electromagnetism attracts to its center of polarity and oval waves seeking rest. Once it's returned to rest, what happened? It gets right back on the horse and springs back out into what? White light. To what now create the cycle all over again. The wave of electromagnetic lines of force arises from the core center and whirls in opposite directions, anterior and posterior. One's going that way, the other going that way. And two magnets, the two lights ain't going to come together. Perfect example. So magnetism, that's the concept. And down here, we're going to show you, these is again, all this is physics. This ain't my area of expertise. This is all concepts of the atom. Now, the first atom we know, atom, A-T-U-M, they got him in here. So I'm feeling better when I get over there. I'll be a little more comfortable. But I get that concept. This one I'm still learning on the fly. So let's go. So now all mass is what? Is formed by a contraction of electric poles of the generative cones of the energy to the point of what? North, and its gravitative center, and by expansion of the contours of the radiative cones until this what? They disappear in one plane of inertia, entering the physical reality. That's what they're trying to show you here. And if you look close, you see there's always like a pyramid up in here, somewhere. And here you see it. And here you see it in pole. Always see that. They call it the Star of David. No, it ain't. It's just two male and female come together, and there's God in the middle. Okay, been there, done that, symbolically. This is the atom. They show you the breakdown of the atoms, the molecules, positive, negative, and negative, positive, and electron. The three things, the 666 combined, is all carbon-based and all symbolical. But they break it down to the minute, microscopic concept. The first time I showed you was the relation, the real atom. The real atom looks like that. The holographic atom, I'll show you the second one. That's what the pyramid, it lays on each other right here. And then you got the third right here. This is real atom right here. The next one is the holographic. That's where we live at right here, male and female in this concept. And this is the actual atom that we know. Let's break it down a little more. See if I can explain it a little bit better for you. Notice how the physical atom, the physical atom, they provide the masses, watch this, through mainstream media educational system, physics class, chemistry class, I had that, so I understand pretty much about that. And they have the same sacred geometry also, majored in mathematics, as what they call the real torus field. Atom, A-T-O-M. I keep putting it out for you because we're going to be A-T-U-M from the ancients. But they always show truth in plain sight. What you mean? They showing you this is what they call, you see this picture here? That's called a false atom. See the molecules going around, spinning around? This is the real. Okay, that's my dude. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah. When they're showing you the atoms, we call them atoms, molecules. They break it down to the mic. This is all the physics concept. This is the atom. Okay, they show you right there. They said this one here, they call the false atom. Okay. This is the oh, excuse me, down here. We got down here now. Sorry about that. We got down here. Where we at? Oh yeah, false atom right here. False atom, and then we got the physical. They showing you the difference. Okay. False atom, all they show this sign here. This is the real one. This is the three. Electrons, neutrons, and protons. That's the carbon-based atom. The Egyptian had atom, A-T-U-M, and that's what he represents, the molecule that makes everything happen and makes it all go. That's my philosophical concept, understanding about that. This is theirs. Let me read it to you. Okay, now it says here, why hide the true model of the atom, A-T-O-M? The elites, they say elites, I say powers that be, okay, in power, do not want the masses. Right there, if the powers that be do not want the masses to discover the true power of what? Ether. Okay, the fifth element, which is an infinite field of energy. Tesla knew that. The Egyptians knew that, okay? That the ancients, thank you, were using to harness free energy. We pay for electricity, I know. That's a hell of a hustle, moving on. But that's, they tell you, it's free. Everything we got is free. We charge for the grocery, we charge for everything we do, living, everything. But they want us, the powers that be, they want us to believe, again, that word, in a physical universe. Okay, we got that. So what? So we stay matter over mind. That's in the Masonic order. You see the compass in the square. The compass represents spiritual. It can make the complete circle, representing God. The square represents the physical matter in the physical world. The compass is hidden from the square until you what? You get to understand it and you remove the compass from the bottom to the top, where now you got spirit over matter instead of matter over spirit. I understand that concept, why? As a Mason and from my ancient concepts. But if the world knew what? The fact that reality is a holographic, and we call it the matrix. It's a simulation. Why? It's all run by this thing in your head. We would realize what? That this reality is a simulated reality, and we do not come from here. I'm just saying. This is their philosophy, not mine. And now they get the signet. They big on the Saturn. Okay, this is their concept of this, the atom. But this is Saturn. They show you the line of inertia, straight line, and every now and then they're going to intersect. They're going to cross at a certain point. Let's get that understanding. Again, this is their philosophy. I'm trying to work with it as best I can. I hope it's making sense. I just showed you. They call it the Siegel of Saturn. The physical matter is a result of what? Of two electrical forces equalized on the plane of inertia. That's the two things line going up and down. Saturn is what they call the computer. Why? Because we incarnate our minds into to be able to enter into what we call this physical world. Phi cycle, world, physical. This is why the sigil of the Saturn comes from the sacred geometry of the torus field. The torus field, two things going together, twirling around. We got that understanding. Oh, that's everywhere. But that's the magnetic force, right? And you know, a magnet, two like signs won't go together. This is phi right here, turned sideways. This is the Earth, the ball, where we live on the flat surface. Oh no, this is the ring of Saturn. That's Saturn with its rings. Okay, that's what they're showing you. Okay, then over here at the end, you got what they call the torus field. This is two things going at the same time. As above, so below. But this is the letter phi. And this, in ancient times, that would be Aset and Nephet going up Kundalini, the staff of Asar, to going up to Ranger Kundalini enlightenment. That's all symbolically, but this is their philosophy, this is their concept. I can tie it in because it all do the same thing. You see right here, the first one? Right here, I'm gonna break that down for you. Then we're gonna get to the rest of this concept right here. Okay, we good, we good. X in the Roman numeral means 10. Okay, I know that much. I hate the Roman numeral. And because 10 means what? Perfection. In their philosophy, in mine, 9 is perfection. The highest number, why? Single digits, 9 is the highest number. When you get to 10, you got to borrow the 1 and bring in the 0 to come on. 9 is the highest number, that's why. Okay. And you got XX, that equals 20. Okay, hold on. And I just listened to my man, Young Pharaoh. He was explaining the genealogy of male and female. The women got the double X gene. The man got the Y chromosome gene. Women came first. Ooh. See? Because you're so male dominant and egotistical, you can't perceive that. But we all came through the portal of the female vagina. That's the Stargate. From spirit to matter, as a birth canal coming to life. They had that all figured out. So what's this? You got 2 equals what? When I hear that, that's Maya. God is singular. Maya is duality. We are in a 3D dimension where duality is what we have to pick from. This or that, night or day, good or bad, right or wrong. The tree of what? Good or evil. That's your nervous system. Let's go. But you got 2 opposing forces that simulate the physical matter. Okay? They turn it sideways to show you the same thing. The lance of the flat surface, the earth on top, the firmament, earth underneath. Hell, y'all call it, but the jewel of the underworld is underneath. As above, so below. All right. But when you enter the Saturn computer from the spiritual concept, it merges you into what they call the dualistic simulation of what? Time and space, physical world, the devil's domain. Okay, but material and physicality is the main here. Spirit and matter, time, space, and matter. The mind now has infinite potential. That's the known. That's way back. God has always been what? Potential to be what? Any and whatever it chooses to be. That's before it started making a decision to be whatever it is. First, it wanted to be what? Light out of the darkness. So, however, we are now hexed. Okay, mean hexagram, 6 side, okay, of Saturn. Forward, backward, left, right, up, down. That's the cube of the physical body that we live in. That's all we can do with it. But the mind can transport astral plane and project itself way outside the physical body. That's the next level. But into this physical matter, that's where we are right now. Saturn represents that, which restricts the mind. This is why what? Saturn in astrology, we go again, the zodiac, is known as the what? The great teacher. Why? Teach you about the physical world. And he holds back to what? To teach you life lessons. That's this thing right here. That's the thing in the physical world. And you see these signs here. Physical is 5 cycle. Cycle of the Taurus field. Okay? 5 cycle. Okay, that's the sign for pi. Okay, again, now we're going over here. We got some more good stuff. We ain't done yet. I'm just working my way through this book, and this is all new stuff. Now I know who he is. That's my dude. That's our tune. But I'm gonna go through this Taurus field thing again with you, to pi for you again, and break down. We got the mathematic concept to break down the frequency. So let me try to get this electromagnetic thing going. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Electromagnetism, again, I just showed you the sign. You got the red is the male expansion. That's doing. That's action. Remember, action for the male. And that's the dielectricity. That's the black light. Black hole means rest. Okay? Magnetism, white light, motion. Acceleration out of the black hole. Don't have a clue. As I'm reading, I'm trying to interpret and understand. I'm putting it together. The female seeking rest safely. That's the inertia. That's the black motion. Then you got the red part that's causing the motion. Okay, so now over here, it says, all is attuned. My dude, ATUM. We are a miniature parts of the one. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Again, we are all torus fields, walking human torus field with body that's going, the chakra that's going in the body, they get stuff. All that's internal stuff that's going on inside us. And my man had to break down this way. I'm understanding it. Okay. The torus field is a unit of what? Light. Okay. It's the only form that exists. Everything is made out of atoms, the torus field. What makes everything go, okay? Get the concept. Now let's talk about the Holy Trinity from not a spiritual perspective. Now we get into electromagnetic stuff. I'm starting to comprehend the philosophy and concepts. So let me see if I can understand a little bit better as we go. Their Holy Trinity is the dielectric electricity, which is the black light, and inertia and acceleration. Again, that's what makes it go. And the second one, magnetism, is the white light, force and motion. That's why you see the checkerboard square, black and white. Everybody got different symbol or subliminal message behind it, but this is theirs from electromagnetic concept. I get that. Okay. I ain't got to confuse it with my stuff. Okay, let's go. But the third one is, this is their Trinity, the Holy Trinity, from electromagnetic concept. Electricity equals what? Electrical, which means effort in a material form, material world. Hold on, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. We're dealing with the torus field again, and they said the third part is the electricity, the electrical effort, material in the physical world. The electricity is the eraser of space. Magnetism is creator of space. Male and female, the red part is the male expansion going up, the female, the black part seeking rest. And dielectricity in intradimensional in counter space, magnetism is the dimensional, dielectricism is the ether. Again, male and female going together. Ether is that invisible part of the element, and the dimension that we're in is the physical world. Down here we got electricity. Electricity is basically electricity, but invisible. Okay, that's okay. And it shows here where they got the plus sign for the male aspect in red going this way in the top of the torus field. See right here? This is the top, this is the bottom. Negative, positive. In order to make a whole, you need two opposites. That's where Mayat comes in right here. Anything with duality, I go right to Mayat. Okay, but they use it for a different purpose. Okay, I get it. But it's still the same thing. So you got radiating white light, magnetism, that creates a pulse, a ripple. Then that ripple generates what we call a wave, a vibration of electricity, okay, the spark. Dielectricity, plane of inertia, that's the flat level right here, or neutral point, where you got salt water and fresh water. When they come together, the line they won't cross. Like two magnets, two positive, they ain't gonna put so close why they can cross the line. And the same thing with nature. Water, they show you the water here is salt, water over here is fresh. They won't cross each other. That's, I guess, inertia. That's what they call the torus field, even in the material form, in liquid form. So right here it says, Ken Wheeler. No, okay, excuse me. Right here, I got the sign of pi. Phi symbol is the torus field, what they call the hyperpoloid, whatever that is. Okay, the sign for phi right there. I did in college. I had a fraternity called Phi Beta Funk, and the sign for phi and beta is a wavelength that starts up here with the B, beta, and funk was the funk sound. I thought that up way back a long time ago. I think I'm 22 years old. So I was always conceptualizing, philosophizing different concepts in my head. All right, but this guy named Ken Wheeler, he said, only when these two ether fields move against each other is there electrification, which is the ether in the modality or dynamic polarization coming to life. Black light is rest, but holds infinite potential. The noon, we knew that in the beginning. I'm glad you said that. Why? We knew that in the noon, when nothing going on, but it was potential. Anything can happen. That's the mind. Okay, the darkness of the mind. And watch this, the electricity, and it gives birth to the white light. So out of the darkness came the light. Okay, that's been since beginning of time. That's how it started. Watch this, which is magnetism. Magnetism, that's the force and motion. Mag means motion. Once white light, magnetism is born. Its energy radiates, which then creates an effect of what? Vibration. This vibration that was caused by magnetism accelerates and creates red shift, right? Turning, centrifugal divergence, then creates what you call the blue shift. Hence the red and blue. We're going to get to that later on. But the blue shift seeking a left turning, which is centrifugal currents, the field of waves, the field is always, seeking rest. Once it gets to rest, its energy springs right back out again into motion. And this is why the field is in constant motion. Hope you understood that. Makes sense to me, but to break it down, no, I'm just going to move right along. Hope you got to understand it. I'm going to shut it down. I see the clock. No, I'm going to finish. I got one more couple of days here. We about to do my dude. Atom. This is the atom that we have. We gave him an identity. He's a man, a person. But the significance and what he represents is what you can learn and understand. That's what I'm going to take you to right now, right quick. Now, magnetism radiates. It charges like that. You see the circle? Okay. Then you got electricity. They tell you, I'll get you that in a minute. Yeah, for God, I'll get you that. I got time for that. But the circle represents God. Okay? The circle, the side of the circle, that's God. Then you got electricity, static information. Then you got the hole around the circle. And then you got Atum, who explains all that. Let me see if I can break it down for you right quick. Let's go. So here we got magnetic radiation waves creates an effort of what we know as vibrational waves, electricity. Okay? Magnetism creates electricity. Magnetism is pure energy. Okay? Magnetism radiates no vibration. Magnetism is immortal. What could that be? Pay attention. Electricity is impure. What do you mean? Electricity is dual. It got two charges. Electricity vibrates. Electricity is mortal. Why? Because electricity vibrates, and any and everything that vibrates has to come to what? A standstill, aka death, an end. Once you start, there's going to be an end. With the Ouroboros, Ouroboros constant going, and you also got the infinity sign that constantly goes. That's turned upside down. It becomes the black hole on top and the white hole on the bottom. And you got the hyperboloid to top-down view of the torus field creates like the lotus of life. The lotus plant, when it grows, or when it flowers, at night, it closes up. And that morning when the sun come up, it opens up to it. This is the top view of that concept. Torus field. What's going on? Blue down here, red up there. Black hole, white hole. These are all symbolism of how the physical body works with the vibration and frequency throughout the body. That's internal. They call magnetism. I'll get to that in 1 second. Where we at? Slide over here now. Ancient Egyptians, my stuff right here. Now we are miles. Said that Atum was the god that first to be created. Atum symbolizes what? The atom, which is the torus field. Okay? That creates everything in existence. Atum brought everything into existence. That's the concept that Egyptians had. Okay, from their perspective, that's all spiritual, but it still becomes physical. But watch this. Everything in existence, none of these Egyptian gods, pay attention, ever really existed physically. We know that. You Bible thumpers, y'all think y'all Christ existed, walked the earth? At least we know that in the Egyptian concept. We don't get caught up in that philosophical quagmire. Oh, he believes this. I asked a Christian, did Jesus really exist? They say, yeah, I leave him alone. Physically, they did not exist physically. They were all metaphorical archetypes to teach and put forth lessons and symbols to get you to understand how you work. From the mind to the body to the cosmos, everything. They had it covered. And the inhale and exhale, y'all call, see the symbolism in Yahweh. Wrap it up with this one right here, close it out with this one, because y'all think the inhale and exhale of the torus field is the breath of life. You know that? Again, my concept, I get it, but it's the reason why we inhale and exhale. Reciprocity. Watch this. Day and night, live and die, etc. When we inhale and exhale, that means it creates the word of God, y'all call Yahweh. Inhaling is Yah, exhaling is way. That's God. I can concede that symbolically, but y'all see it literally. That's where you make the mistake at. Moving on, let me wrap it up. The hyperboloid, the hyperbole, exaggerated statements or claims not meant to be taken literally. These are philosophical concepts that you can't make literal. I just told you about that. And for example, he vowed revenge with oath and hyperboles. Baal, you're speaking ball shit. Exaggeration means nothing. When you person talk about oath, run up at the jizz, nothing. Words, what's this? With Torah, what that means. Torah story, the only story that exists in the motion of electromagnetism, the torus fields, motor, what's this? The torus field is a motor spinning, like the chakras in the body, the spinning wheels, that's action, that's movement, that's what it's all about. And a tornado is a big example of that. Tornadoes are hyperboloids in the center of the torus field. Torso, middle of the body. Below your neck is called your torso, which is your torus field. They bring all this concepts. I'll be right back with some more. Wow, we about to get into some more magneticism, electromagnetism. It ain't spirituality, but I'm going with the flow. Hope you enjoy the lesson. I'm having fun teaching and learning as I go. Some of the stuff I'm learning myself. So hope you enjoy it. Right thinking and closing. Y'all there to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I know my right thinkers who understand now more about the electromagnetism. Pass away. I'll be back with, I got 2 more pages of that information.